So I was just in a lot of pain and had no answers and thought that my body was just like broken and nobody knew why. Um, until I finally saw a rheumatologist who diagnosed me with ankylosing spondylitis, or AS.
Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons. Dan, you're here today to talk all about ankylosing spondylitis, or AS, which is something that you have suffered with for quite some time. So please tell us what you want to share with others that are suffering from unexplained back pain just like you did.
So when I was in my early 20s, I had unexplained back pain, meaning there wasn't like a point of injury. You know, it was just like out of nowhere, a lot of pain in my lower back, like my SI joints. And kind of shrugged it off, but it just kind of got worse, and it got to a point where I couldn't perform. I could hardly get out of bed. It was really painful, especially at nighttime. And I went to different doctors, and they didn't know what was going on, or they thought they knew what was going on, and they misdiagnosed me. And that went on for over a year. So I was just in a lot of pain and had no answers and thought that my body was just like broken and nobody knew why. Until I finally saw a rheumatologist who diagnosed me with ankylosing spondylitis, or AS, and put me on the road to recovery and really changed my whole life for the better, and got me to a point where I could do all the things I want to do today, run around on stage and jump around. But sadly, that's really common for people with AS, that they go through that long period of time before diagnosis. And that's because not a lot of people know about AS. So my goal is to raise awareness about this kind of hidden disease.
So what were the first signs or symptoms that you had of AS?
You know, it's actually quite different for everybody. People experience it in their neck, sometimes it's inflammation of the eyes, sometimes it's in your ankles, sometimes it's an inflammatory disease. So really, I would say, you know, the most typical thing though is kind of back pain. So really, if anybody is kind of living with this unexplained back pain, really the goal of this whole campaign, which is Monster Pain in the AS, is to go to monsterpainintheas.com, take a 3-minute quiz. It's just free. It's there for you to just take a quiz, see if it sounds like you might be a candidate for AS. And then it will put you in touch with a rheumatologist in your area. And it's just something I wish I had available to me 10 years ago. It would have saved a ton of heartache and pain and different doctors.
Sure. I mean, what was your reaction when the doctor told you that you had AS? Were you almost relieved because then you had a solution for your problem, kind of?
Yeah, it was like mixed emotions, you know, because first of all, I was happy to have a name to whatever was going on and a plan of action. But you also, you know, there's like such a stigma to the word disease that when someone tells you like you have a disease, it's like, you know, it's scary, it's overwhelming. It's like a vulnerable thing to tell people, you know, I have a disease. Mm-hmm. So really, the goal is to destigmatize that word, so people understand that it's like, it's not something to be ashamed of, and it's something that is part of my life, it's part of my everyday routine. It's a battle that I have every day when I wake up. You know, there's no cure for it. So I still live with it to this day, but I have a treatment plan. I have, you know, people on my side. I have a community behind me of people who also have AS, and we, you know, you change your diet, talk about, hey, what are you doing that's helping you with exercise, like stuff like that.
Right, definitely. So what are some of the biggest challenges of living with AS?
You know, just when you're having a flare-up, it is really painful. For me, I like can't sleep at night. I get really stiff in the morning. You can't really even stretch, but you're trying to stretch to make it better. And it got to a point where I remember playing a show where I was just standing totally still on the stage and I couldn't move. And even singing, if you've ever had like back spasms or something like that, then you can kind of understand like the deep drilling pain where it feels like it's like your nerves are just being like poked with like a knife. That's what it felt like for me. So it was just debilitating. And once I got with the rheumatologist and got on a treatment plan, it was like night and day difference. Totally. I still have flare-ups here and there, but I have like a plan of action, you know, like, okay, I need to tighten up my diet. I need to like do these exercises. I need to get on this treatment plan. Like,
sure. I mean, that has to be so scary. Like, you're there performing in front of all these people, and I'm sure all you can think about is, oh my God, this pain is excruciating, but I still have to perform in front of millions and millions of people.
Yeah, nobody knows what's going on, so people are just like, oh, he's kind of a lazy performer. Whatever. Yeah, it was an okay show. You know?
I know you mentioned before that you partnered with the Monster Pain in the AS campaign. Tell me a little bit more about that campaign and why you wanted to get involved.
Yeah, you know, I think that just ankylosing spondylitis is such a mouthful, and it just sounds so intimidating, that I don't know. I really don't know why it's still like deemed a hidden disease, because millions of people are suffering from it. So the whole goal with Monster Pain and the AS is it's kind of this like catchy slogan. It's like kind of tongue in cheek. And yeah, it's like to bring it to the mainstream. So when people go to the doctor, they might have an idea of, hey, I've heard about this thing, AS. Could that be it? Well, let's see a rheumatologist. Like, get answers quicker, and that comes from talking about it and getting it out there. So that's what the whole point of the campaign is, as well as the 3-minute quiz that asks you some simple questions that will lead them to know, okay, it sounds like it's a mechanical thing, or it sounds like it's inflammatory. And then here's a rheumatologist in your area, and it's just to make the process quicker and easier for people, so they don't have, it's like a 10-year misdiagnosis kind of like on average for people with AS, which is crazy. That's like so many people who lived in pain for a decade. Like, I was fortunate for it to just be a little over a year, but that's not the case for a lot of people with AS.
No, I mean, 10 years, that's, like you said, I mean, it's a decade. That is a long time out of your life to live in pain. And yeah, it's great that you are talking about it, getting the conversation and bringing awareness to this. So Dan, thank you so much. And please tell people again where they can go and find out more information on AS.
For sure. Thanks for taking the time and shining the light on this. So you go to monsterpainintheas.com.